Hello, my darlings. How are we all today? Well, Mr. Moan is back, right? And the reason why Mr. Moan is back is, well, I guess you, like me, watched that dozy drip outside 10 Downing Street yesterday. You know the drip that I'm referring to, the one that I call Ricky, okay, because I hate that name Ricky. You know, it just does something to me. I just can't stand that bloody name Ricky. Anyway, so that drip stands outside 10 Downing Street yesterday announcing an election, right? Okay, and if the Conservatives think for one moment that they're actually going to win any election, well, they are, you know, smoking the pot, or maybe putting something in their arms, or, you know, this sort of thing. Because they've really, truly got themselves totally deluded. But that's just one thing, you see, because what's the alternatives to the Conservatives? That's a good one, isn't it? What alternatives to the Conservatives? I like that. You have Labour. You have Labour. And, you know, as I've said a million times before, if you think that Labour is going to make this country any better than the Conservatives, the way in which the Conservatives have driven it into the ground over the last 14 years, bear in mind the Conservatives have been in power for 14 years. And they, you know, the fact that they've got this country in such a diabolical mess, right? They keep trying to refer to the fact of the pandemic thingy, you know, the old doodah in your arm, and, you know, and the truth hasn't come out about that all yet, but it will do. It'll be a little bit like this post office inquiry that's, you know, taken 20 years to actually for all the information to come out. And, you know, we are seeing now with the post office inquiry the amount of lies that were told by all these chief executives and all these employees at the post office, and all these poor bloody sub postmasters going to prison, losing their homes, some of them committing suicide. How disgusting. And yet I was, you know, I know I'm sort of moving away from Ricky at the moment, but I was watching that bloody Venables woman, whatever her name is, Paula Venables, right? What did she have? A CBE. Oh, I've sent it back to the king. Well, that's not going to help anybody who's lost their livelihood, their post office, and their friends and everything else, is it? Sending some poxy piece of CBE back to Buckingham Palace, you know, and that woman, she just doesn't care. She doesn't care. But, you know, going back, it's taken years and years and years for all these lies to actually come out, okay, when that should never have been the case. That should never have been the case. But anyway, let's get back to Mr. Drip, all right, because I like talking about Mr. Drip. And what a bloody drip he was yesterday. I've always thought of him as a drip, and seeing him out there in the rain, you know, so I loved it. I loved it. I hope you loved it too, because I loved it because it summed him up exactly what he is, a complete and utter drip. He's not a proper politician, right? As we've always said and always maintained, he is only there for one thing, and that is to feather his own nest, right? And make sure his wife, etc., and the other companies that they have get all the lovely good contracts, you know. But that's another story. Okay, let's get back to this election. That's going to be a laugh, isn't it? You know, 6 weeks to put an election together, right? And he's hoping, well, you know, that the Reform Party, this is what he's hoping for, that the Reform Party is somehow going to split the vote, right, and stop Labour getting in, or that maybe they can do a coalition with Labour. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, even though I personally would support Reform Party. and according to Richard Tice, they're going to stand in every constituency. But the guys, they just don't have the money, But if you can help reform, you don't, not necessarily donate, but donate some time, go put some leaflets out, that type of thing. I will. I'll give my time up and that, and hopefully maybe they'll get one politician, two politicians, a couple of MPs. It's not going to make much difference, but not this time round. But I do believe next time we have another election, which I don't think will be too far off, I think they will stand a far better chance. But going back, what is the alternative to Conservative? Well, there is no alternative really. There's no proper opposition, right? You talk about Labour, and it does look like Labour will get in, but you're only going to get exactly, if not worse, than what you've had already over the last 14 years with the Conservatives. You're going to get more 15-minute cities. You're going to get more of this green, pastures of home and everything else, right? They want to drive you out your car. They want you so you don't travel anywhere. And if you do, they're going to be bringing in, as we know, price per mile. Okay, so bear all that in mind, because the Labour Party are going to be shoving that down your throat, right, until you are choking, and there won't be anything you can do about it because you've been stupid enough to vote them in. Okay, so when you can't move out of your street because they've put those lovely bollards across, right, saying, this, you can't go out this end, you've got to go out the other end, and you can't use your car today because it's Thursday, and you've voted these morons in, then you've only got yourself to bloody blame. Okay, we do have another problem in this country, with a certain demographic, right, that they are going to try and bring their influence as much as they possibly can upon this election, right? They've already done so to a degree with the Labour Party, right? And that demographic is going to get worse and worse, and they are going to want more and more. Not because they like this country, not because they like your way of life or my way of life, our way of life, the British way of life. It's not because they like that. It's because they want to take the country over completely, okay? And so that they have all the women wandering around with shopping bags on their head, if you get my drift, okay? We got so many problems in this country, and it's such a shame, because this country should be and could be, one of the most leading countries again in the world, as opposed to being what we are presently, which is a bit of a laughing stock. How many prime ministers we had in the last few years? 5, I think it is. I've lost count. Tell me, put something in down below. So here we are today with this general election on the horizon. As I say, personally myself, I'll vote reform, and if I have to go out and deliver some leaflets, I'm more than happy to do that. Richard Tice, you can contact me to put something in down below, or anybody else from reform who wishes some help, in my area. I'm not going to travel to Newcastle. Not that I have a problem with Newcastle, but it's a bit too far away from me, people. Anyway, so Mr. Moan is back. I thought that after today, or after yesterday, I thought Mr. Moan had to come back and have a few words. Now, anybody out there that also would like to help my channel, this channel, and Mr. Moan, and contribute, even do some sort of collaboration with me, maybe even come to me and say, hey, come on, maybe we can get a podcast going or something like that. I'm open to all of those offers, and you know, but there's only one person, and that's that chap with a bald head. I don't want him coming to me, all right? Because I think Richard Vobes, I think he's a bit too far out there with the fairies at the moment. I don't know. Maybe he's been eating too many, I don't know, duck eggs or something. Richard, do not apply, okay? But anybody else, you know, has got the same similar views to me, who likes this country, who would like to come and join me, and maybe build, I don't know, a decent podcast system up here for YouTube and other platforms. I'm open to those offers because I think we need that, and it will help give us a voice, and give everyone else a voice, because we got to have a voice. And the more of a following that we actually get, right, the larger or the louder the voice that we will have. So, yeah, any ideas like that, put something in below, and, you know, contact me, and we'll get together somehow or another. So that is what we have, and that's what we have today. As I say, you know, we do have a good country. Those that who are not willing to fight for this country, then I think they should get on a boat, a plane or something, and go back to their, well, I was going to say motherland, which is probably, you know, it's probably true. The immigration situation with all that lot coming over the boats, France, that hasn't changed. Nothing has got better in the last 14 years with the Conservatives. Nothing whatsoever. It's just got worse and worse and bloody worse. Yeah, they are such a bunch of AOs, right? They truly are. Oh my God, what a shame. What a shame. They had a fantastic opportunity with Brexit, and they never took it because they didn't want to, because they still got their heads and their pockets or their wallets sitting in Brussels. You know, they didn't want Brexit properly. I also notice that Nigel Farage isn't going to stand to become an MP. That doesn't entirely surprise me, and the reason I say that is because I think Nigel has got some bigger opportunities coming down the road, and he's decided not to take the first bus that comes along. He's waiting. Well, one of the reasons he's waiting is my view, and it's always only my view. This whole thing is always only my view, but I think he's waiting to see what happens in the USA with Donald Trump. I think he's waiting for that. I think he's also waiting for basically another opportunity that he's looking at for the implosion of the Conservative Party, whereas he could probably step in to the Conservative Party as leader. That you know, wouldn't at all surprise me if that's what you know, because that has actually been spoken about, I do believe. So he's not going to take the first bus that comes along. Okay, he's going to sit back, keep his powder dry for a while, and see what happens. So anyway, guys, right, that's my little rant for today. If there's anything in particular that you would like me to rant about, drop something in the comments down below, and I will get on the case. And if you want to join me, then again, drop something down there, and let's get on the case. Let's get our voices heard. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and please share. All right, and that's all that Mr. Moan has to say for today. Bye.